Hey there, English learners. Welcome back to English Guide Friendly, your go-to place for learning English the natural, enjoyable way, while also growing in all parts of your life. I'm Alex.
Whether you've been following us for a while, and I'm Jamie. We're really happy to have you with us today. Whether you've been following us for a while or this is your first time, we've got a really useful episode for you.
Definitely. Let me ask you something. What's the one thing that can either make you succeed or hold you back, whether you're learning a language, getting fit, or chasing any big goal?
That's a great question. If I had to pick just one thing, I'd say it's self-discipline. It's what keeps you moving forward when you don't feel like it.
You're totally right. And funny enough, I've been struggling with that myself lately. I've slipped on some personal goals, and honestly, I feel a bit undisciplined.
I can relate completely. We all go through phases where we set big dreams but can't seem to stick with them.
So what's been happening with you?
Well, for example, I keep saying I'll exercise more. But on the days I plan to work out, my favorite shows on streaming apps always seem to call my name. I lose momentum and think, I'll start tomorrow.
Ah, the famous "I'll start tomorrow" trap. We've all been there. But hey, that's exactly why we're talking about self-discipline today. Without it, we just put things off and lose sight of our goals.
Exactly. So in this episode, we'll break down how to build self-discipline, why it's so important for success, and how to stay on track even when things get hard.
Yes, and the best part, we have practical tips that will help you stay disciplined with your English learning and other parts of your life.
And as always, we've got a free PDF guide for today's episode, with key ideas, questions to check your understanding, and grammar exercises. Use it to lock in what you learn and keep improving both your discipline and your English.
Plus, we'll introduce some new intermediate-level vocabulary during the episode. These words will help you sound more natural when you speak English, and we'll explain them in our Vocabulary Corner later.
So stay with us. This episode is full of useful ideas that will help you build self-discipline and take your English skills higher.
That's right. Whether you want to build better habits, feel more confident speaking, or just get better at staying focused, this episode is for you.
All right, let's dive into today's topic, how to build self-discipline and stay consistent on the road to success.
Let's start with tip number 1. Begin with tiny habits. If you want to build self-discipline, focusing on very small, easy habits is a smart way to begin.
I really feel this one. Every year I set huge goals, like exercising an hour every day or eating perfectly. And every year by mid-January I'm already tired and overwhelmed.
I know exactly what you mean. New Year's resolutions can be exciting, but they often lead to burnout if we try to change too much at once. The secret is to start small and build momentum.
Yes. I've learned that when I focus on tiny habits like just 5 minutes of exercise a day, I'm much more likely to keep going. Feels easy and over time it adds up.
Exactly. Tiny habits, done every day, help you build momentum. Like you said, 5 minutes of exercise seems small, but after weeks or months, the results are real.
Same with language learning. Instead of promising to study English for an hour, just promise 5 minutes a day, read, listen, or learn one new word. Over time, that small habit turns into real progress without stress.
Remember, being consistent is what really matters.
Exactly. James Clear, who wrote Atomic Habits, talks about how small habits grow over time. The idea is to make the habit so small that you can't say no. Even a few minutes a day done consistently leads to big results.
I love that. And the best part is, tiny habits naturally become part of your daily life. It's easier to stay disciplined without forcing yourself.
Totally. Now on to tip number 2. Focus on systems, not just goals. Goals are good, but without a clear system, they often fail.
I've made that mistake so many times. I'd set a big goal like lose 15 kilos in 3 months, but without a daily system, I couldn't keep up. I'd start strong, then get discouraged when I didn't see fast results.
Right. That's where systems come in.
A system is a set of small daily actions that move you toward your goal.
Oh, I see. So instead of only thinking about the final result, our listeners should build a system for success. For example, practice English for 10 minutes every morning, or listen to English podcasts while driving. Those small daily habits lead to big results over time.
Yes, and once your system is in place, it becomes automatic. You don't need to rely on motivation. You just follow the routine even if it feels tiny.
I like that. When I focus on my routine, I stop worrying about the end goal. I just follow my system.
Exactly. Systems keep you on track.
With the right system, you're less likely to burn out or give up because your actions become steady and automatic.
It's like building a path to your goal without all the bumps and wrong turns. Once the system becomes a habit, it feels natural.
Right. And that brings us to tip 3. Make your habits attractive. If you make a habit fun, sticking with it becomes much easier.
I totally agree. When I started exercising, I hated it. But then I made it enjoyable. I listened to my favorite music or watched a funny show while stretching. Suddenly, working out wasn't so painful.
Same for English practice. If you make it enjoyable, like watching an exciting English series or giving yourself a small treat after a study session, the process becomes way more fun.
Great idea. If our listeners reward themselves after practicing English with a snack or a fun activity, they'll stay motivated. It's like bribing yourself to learn, but in a positive way.
Who doesn't like a little self-bribery? Positive reinforcement is powerful. When you pair good habits with rewards, your brain starts to love the habit. Strengthens over time.
So making habits attractive with rewards means I'm more likely to stick to my goals, whether it's fitness or language learning. Who knew being disciplined could involve snacks and TV?
Right. Discipline doesn't have to be boring. And that leads to tip 4. Design your environment for success. Your surroundings can either help or hurt your discipline.
Oh, I can definitely say that's true. When my desk is messy or there are snacks all around, I get distracted immediately.
That's a disaster waiting to happen. If your environment doesn't support your goals, it's too easy to give in to distractions.
Exactly. That's why I started keeping my workout clothes right next to my bed and my gym bag by the door. That reminds me to exercise first thing in the morning. I also moved snacks away from my desk to stay focused.
Smart. The key is to make it easier to follow through and harder to procrastinate.
Same for English learning. For everyone studying English, make your environment work for you. Keep your study materials visible and easy to reach: books, apps, flashcards. Out of sight often means out of mind.
Right. And don't forget, the people around you matter too. Surround yourself with people who support your goals. If your friends encourage you, it's much easier to stay disciplined.
Well, unless your friends are distracting you with cake. But that's another story.
True. And speaking of distractions, that's where managing your willpower and energy comes in. Willpower is like a muscle. It gets tired the more you use it.
Oh, I feel that. By the end of the day, I've used up all my willpower and I'm just trying not to binge watch shows.
I hear you. That's why it's important to use your energy wisely. Do your most important tasks, like studying English or exercising, when you feel your best, usually earlier in the day.
Right. For me, if I exercise in the morning, I'm more likely to stick with it. By evening, I have no energy left to force myself.
Exactly. And for English learners, find your peak energy time and use it for focused practice. Review vocabulary, speak, or listen when you feel sharp. That way you get the most out of your energy.
Totally. Another tip is automating decisions. The fewer choices you have to make, the more energy you save for important things like learning or working out.
Yes. Automating decisions helps you save mental energy for the big stuff.
Now, once you've set up your systems, having someone to hold you accountable can take things even further. Social support really boosts self-discipline.
I completely agree. When I have a workout buddy or a friend checking on me, I'm much more likely to stick to my exercise plan.
Same for English learners. Whether it's a language partner, a study group, or just a friend who asks about your progress, having someone keep you accountable makes a huge difference.
It's like having someone give you a gentle push when you need it without judgment.
That's the idea. Accountability helps you stay motivated and consistent. Whether you share your English practice with a friend or exercise with a partner, it's so much easier with support.
Exactly. For fitness, if someone encourages me, it's much harder to skip a workout. Same for English, you're more likely to stick with it if you've got support.
Now that we've covered several powerful tips for building self-discipline, let's quickly review some key words and phrases we use today.
Right. And to help with your English, we have our vocabulary corner. Let's go to our friend Charlotte.
Hi everyone, it's Charlotte here. Today I'll explain some intermediate vocabulary from this episode to help boost your English skills. Let's get started. I briefly explains 5 words like momentum, procrastinate, reinforce, burnout, accountability. And that's it for today's vocabulary corner. Remember, the best way to remember new words is to use them in real situations. Try to put these words into your conversations or writing.
Thanks, Charlotte. Those vocabulary tips are always so helpful.
Absolutely. And now it's time to wrap up. Thanks for listening to another episode of English Guide Friendly. Remember to keep those tiny habits going, stay consistent, and make your environment work for you.
And don't forget to reward yourself along. Good habits don't have to be boring. Make them fun.
We'll see you in the next episode. Keep learning and keep improving. Until then, take